Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Haven't done one of these long little pods. I say long, 10 to 12 minutes or whatever. In a little minute, man. So we're going to talk about the Saints. We're going to talk about LSU, baseball, basketball. We're going to talk about the Pels. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. First off with the Saints, man. Obviously, they have to get under the cap this offseason. Already started off by restructuring Michael Thomas, Ryan Ramczyk, and Andres Pete. Those three guys been restructured, saved almost $30 million in cap. That number is now right under $40 million, I think, a little over $40 million, to go with the Saints in their cap situation. So that'll be done probably after the June 30th date, I believe, because that's when they can cut some guys and things like that, trade some guys. So don't expect any news, unless it's a restructure to maybe Lattimore or Kamara within that time frame. Also, what I really want to talk about with Saints news, because obviously isn't any news right now. Draft still a little bit away, pro days and combine and things like that. So right now I'm going to talk about Marcus Williams. Will he be a Saint next year? This is a big question I've been asked a lot. Like I have no idea. However, some inside information. I do know Marcus Williams' trainer. His trainer went to Nebraska, played cornerback in Nebraska. He's now a trainer. He trains him in the all season, has been training him every all season since, I think, Marcus Williams' rookie year. And I know the guy pretty well. So some things that I do know coming from Marcus Williams is he want to get paid. I mean, that's obvious. That's not me breaking any news there. This is his first year, where he's going to be eligible to get a big deal. He wants to get paid. And if you want to follow his trainer, his name is Josh Mitchell on Instagram, J_Mitch05. You can probably follow him. He posts Marcus Williams on his story, every now and then when they're training and things like that. Some things I will share. Won't share all of our conversations because, like I said, it's a personal friend, whatever like that. But he did say Marcus Williams did want to sign with the Saints last offseason. They really tried to get that done. They tried to get that deal done. It didn't happen. They were too far apart numbers-wise from what I got. He didn't tell me that specifically, but kind of the reports and things like that, I can kind of tell that Marcus Williams and his camp wanted a certain number and the Saints wouldn't go above a certain number. I'm not sure what that number is or was, but maybe that number is going to be the same this offseason. Maybe it's went up, maybe it's went down. I think Marcus Williams still played at elite level, so I doubt that number will change, man. He's in the prime of his career or entering the prime of his career, so I believe that number is probably going to be the same, or it might be higher if the safety market jumps, or he'll probably reset the safety market, honestly. So it's going to be the battle, to keep Marcus Williams, in my opinion. I do believe he'll be a Saint next year. Let me just get that out the way. I do believe he will play for the New Orleans Saints next year some way, somehow. I do think he's going to get a crazy amount of offers from people. I think if Tyrann Mathieu leaves the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are going to pay him a shit ton of money. To come play for them. I know their cap situation is hell, just like ours. But like I said, cap is a myth. If you want a guy, you can go get a guy, and you can pay a guy just about whatever you want to in the NFL. And I think if Tyrann leaves, the Chiefs gave up a lot of big plays last year. And Marcus Williams, what he's good at, his range, stopping the big plays, playing sideline to sideline as a deep safety. I think he'll be great in that role for them, obviously, because he's great in that role, for us. So I think the Chiefs will be a big player. Some other teams will obviously be big players for Marcus Williams if he hits that free agency and the Saints aren't able to sign him. So Saints going to have to wrap that up, man. Going to have to hopefully sign him, get him back in the Saints uniform, because that'll be huge, obviously, for our defense. He's the anchor on the back end for that defense, and we're going to need him back. Let me know what y'all think, man. Obviously, I know we all want him back. But will y'all do whatever it takes to get him back, to keep him and things like that? Would y'all make him the highest paid safety? Would y'all make him a top 5 paid safety? Would y'all not pay him at all? What would y'all do with Marcus Williams? Let me know in the comments below, obviously. But now we're going to get to some LSU talk right quick. We're going to start off with LSU Baseball, man. LSU Baseball started off the year. They're 7-1, sitting at number 10 in the country right now. Played a couple easy games, lost to La Tech. That's the only loss on the season so far. However, they've been scoring a lot of runs, man. They've been putting up runs galore in those 8 games, in that 8-game stretch. I know over the weekend against Townsend, opening weekend, they scored 52 runs in 3 games. That's insane. So the runs are there. The bats are swinging. That's good for them. It's early in the season, so you don't really know where this team is at. 7-1, that's a good start. You would like to be undefeated, in this early part of the season, but Louisiana Tech is always a good school. Louisiana schools in baseball are always good, so that's not a super terrible loss, especially early in the year. They do have a tournament coming up this upcoming weekend or next weekend against some Texas teams. They play Oklahoma, Texas, and Baylor. That's going to be a 3-game stretch where it's going to be pretty good, to see where they're at. It's a good judgment. Some better teams than what they've been playing so far. So we'll see what they do in that weekend, man. Not too much on LSU baseball, but the bats are weak. The pitching needs to catch up a little bit to the bats, but early on in the baseball season. Won't touch on them too much until later in the season, probably, unless something drastic happens. Now we're going to switch focus to the basketball team. We'll start off with men's basketball, man. Men's basketball, they're 20-9 right now. They started off the season great. Got to SEC play, slipped up a little bit. They're 8-8 in SEC play, which is a 500, which isn't bad, isn't good. They're just average, middle of the pack, and they'll honestly need a strong SEC tournament, man, so they can secure a nice spot in this NCAA tournament. You can't go to the SEC tournament and be one and done, and now hoping you're going to get a good spot in the tournament or a spot in the tournament at all. Their schedule's been pretty good, so the strength of schedule is pretty good and things like that. So they just have to win a couple games in this SEC tourney. Hopefully win it all, man. They can get hot. Started off the season great, like I said, but they've been slowing down as of late. They need to pick that back up. And, it's all about who gets hot, man. In basketball, especially men's basketball this year, no one's really great. We just watched number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all go down in the same weekend. There's not a great dominant team this year. It's wide open. All you have to do is get a spot in the tournament, and you have a chance to win it all. So LSU need to have a strong SEC tournament, man. And we'll see. But they have 2 games before the SEC tournament. They play Arkansas and Alabama. If you can win those 2 games, push yourself to 22-9. 10-8 in SEC play, you're basically locking yourself up for the tournament. That'll be huge for the men's program to get that tourney berth. Like I said, man, if you get in there, anything can happen. So we'll be looking forward, to see what the LSU men's basketball team does. But the best basketball team on campus, the team I'm really here to talk about, the women's basketball team. Obviously, Kim Mulkey became the LSU coach this all season for the Lady Tigers, man, and it's been the best hire probably that Scott Woodward, the AD, has made. She's come in and changed the program in one season, man. They're 25-4, 13-3 in the SEC, which is a very tough conference for women's basketball with the Tennessee, South Carolinas, so on and so forth. They're playing absolutely great basketball. They're locked in the number 2 seed for the SEC tournament, man. LSU hasn't done that in so long. I just miss the days of LSU's women's basketball being dominant. They look like they're headed, back on that track. They're not as dominant as those teams in the past, but the record's still there. Just the dominance isn't there. But you have to start somewhere, man. She's been absolutely great with the program. And they're going to have this SEC tourney, and it's going to be big, man. It's going to be a real big SEC tourney. Obviously, like I said, they have the number 2 seed locked up. They're number 8 overall in the NCAA. But if they win this tourney, that'll be huge for the program, because if they go in and win the SEC tourney, man, they can lock up a number 1 seed for the women's basketball program. And if that can happen in your first year, that's only going to help with recruiting, getting more players in the portal and things like that, man. It's going to help her just get more budget for the team and things like that. Crowd's going to start coming out. The AD's going to give you more leeway because the team's winning. So hopefully they can pull it off in the SEC tourney and win that, or hopefully compete, make it to the finals, try to get a number 1 seed in this NCAA tournament. And that way, all bets are off. They have a chance to win, the NCAA tournament, which is huge, especially in your first year. So we'll see what happens with the basketball team for the women, man. But it's been a great year for Kim Mulkey in her first year. Didn't expect this. I expected the team to be better under her, because obviously at Baylor, she had a powerhouse, but I did not expect them to come in and be a national title contender her first year in the NCAA. That's going to be insane. Hopefully they can pull it off. Hopefully they do well in the tourney. It's been a long time coming for LSU's women basketball, man, but they finally seem like they're back on track. And honestly, that's going to wrap it up. I said I was going to talk about the Pels, but I'm honestly going to give them their own video after that win last night. So be on the lookout for that later today. I'll definitely drop that towards tonight or late afternoon or something like that. But, man, yeah, this is a little pod, man. I call it a pod, but it's only like 10 minutes, so it's not really a pod. But it's a little longer than some of the other videos. So if you made it to the end, I appreciate you as always, man. It's the Boot Tragedies, covering all sports, all Louisiana, LSU, Pelicans, Saints, anything in Louisiana, I'll try to cover it. But this is the Boot Tragedies, and I'm out.